Welcome back. New allegations of bias in the media. Well-known New York Times columnist Paul Krugman appeared to suggest President-elect Donald Trump would welcome another terror attack to help him politically. He tweeted this: "Thought there was, rightly, a cloud of illegitimacy over Bush, dispelled, wrongly, by 9/11. Create some interesting incentives for Trump," end quote. Mr. Trump responded bluntly at a thank you rally over the weekend.
They had a clown today in the failing New York Times who said that I wanted to have another World Trade Center catastrophe because it's good for my base. Can you believe this? No, think of it. Think of it. What kind of a demented person would say that? No, think of it. Thousands of people killed. Anybody that says that, and this guy is demented. He's a demented person. And that's why the Times is failing.
One clown and two dementeds. So then later, Krugman walked back his comments. Well, sort of. He tweeted, "No, it won't be a false flag terrorist attack. Too hard and no need. It will either exploit a real terrorist attack or involve a U.S. version of the Falklands War, picking a fight with foreign power to rally home base. Iraq had some elements of that," end quote. Charles, this guy has a lot of free time.
Well,
something.
You know, it's amazing that he got economics wrong for like 3 decades, and now they let him go out to the political world. It's mean-spirited what he said. It's the scary stuff that someone would be thinking this way and then have the nerve to put it out there. That somehow, listen, we do know that during the election, whenever there were attacks in this country, it underscored a policy that wasn't working, a policy for Barack Obama and one that Hillary Clinton was buying into. And that's helped Donald Trump because people were saying, you know what, maybe we need to be tougher. Maybe we need to move away from some historic norms with respect to immigration and other things and be tougher with certain people from certain areas if we want to stay safe and alive. That's a lot different than saying as president you want to see a 9/11 style attack.
What category these days are we putting Paul Krugman in? Are we including
Nuts,
him in
crazy, mean-spirited?
But seriously, are we looking at him as like an op-ed artist? Is he a journalist or what? Because
again, he started out as an economist. I think he's been totally bad and wrong on the economy, and then he
notoriously wrong, correct?
Notoriously wrong, and now he's a columnist / whatever, you know.
It's weird how you can make a career out of that, just being wrong over and over.
Harris, you're actually pointing out a really good thing, which is we now have to recategorize these people that used to all be thought of as journalists, and we now know that doesn't apply to a lot of these people, a lot of this. But the American people, I think, unfortunately, are not being given that gift of saying this is an op-ed person, this is an objective journalist, this is, and I want to say one more thing. The reset that President-elect Trump has continuously tried, at his credit, to do with the New York Times and these different, it's all for nothing, right? It's all for nothing because at every turn there continues to be this type, and it's fine if he's an op-ed guy and this is his thing, he has every right to say it, but it really undermines the credibility of the relationship between a President-elect Trump and, quote, mainstream media.
Thank you for understanding my point. You are my hero.
No, I totally get it.
And one of the reasons I bring it up is, you know, when we tweet things out as journalists, we're held to a different standard.
Sure.
And we can debate all day long whether or not it's fair. I do think it's fair. So we can say he wasn't working at the time and that he was tweeting, but it's in bounds. Am I wrong about that in your eyes, Charles?
No, I mean, it's very, he launched an attack on the next president of the United States.
Right, in bounds for the category of journalism is what I'm saying.
Oh, absolutely.
So he should be held to a different standard.
Absolutely.
Right, and there's a difference between an opinion or writing, you know, I'm a columnist, you write a column, and just, you know, instead of writing a column or forming an opinion in a tweet, just trying to develop some sort of random conspiracy theory in case something happens in the future. That's not journalism, that's not anything, that's just crazy.
So are we in a new day and age? Because we have a president-elect who's also tweeting and who's talked about, his team has talked about moving the chairs inside the White House press corps and in a bigger picture having a different relationship with media. So are we about to see a paradigm shift in that sense? And where do we put stuff like this?
We've talked about the New York Times multiple times on this show, but Paul Krugman sort of encompasses to me everything that's wrong with the New York Times. We don't know if he's a journalist or a columnist. He's attacking our president, saying that he would benefit from a 9/11 attack. I mean, the insensitivity of that, not only to our troops, but to the victims of 9/11 and beyond. I mean, these stories are kind of difficult for me to talk about because it's just so wildly insensitive. The New York Times needs to take a cold, hard look at the House and their journalists and what they're tweeting and saying and writing right at this very moment, because there's such a massive distrust towards this publication. Again, I don't know if you're a journalist or a columnist, and that's a really big problem for the majority of American people.
Well, remember earlier this fall when their editor said that they were going to rededicate themselves to journalism. I don't even know what that means.
But also,
I'm going to rededicate myself to doing laundry on Saturdays.
One of their editors admitted that they don't understand religion and religious people in this country. Maybe hire a religion columnist or editor in order to sort of expand your worldview past Manhattan.
And Harris, when do they decide to opt out of journalism to the point where they have to rededicate? I'm just asking
these are
questions.
Good questions, Eboni.
Just asking questions. Sorry.
Excellent questions.
Curious.
Amid reports of tension on college campuses, now 2 public universities are offering classes on the problem of whiteness. You cannot make this up. It's part of what they're calling a push for racial justice. And guess who's going to pay for it? We'll debate it next.